We've all been there. You meet someone new, or worse, someone you kind of know but not well enough, so you fall back on the basics. Hey, how are you? What do you do? What team are you in? You go back and forth a few times. Everything feels fine on the surface, and then suddenly, silence. That long, awkward pause where neither of you knows what to say next, so you both start looking around, pretending to be busy, maybe checking your phone just to escape the moment. And just like that, the conversation dies. I've been there more times than I can count. At work events, weddings, random parties, talking to a distant cousin I barely remember, or a stranger I'll probably never see again. And every time it feels like there's this invisible pressure to say something interesting, like you're being judged in real time, and when you don't deliver, the whole interaction just falls flat. But here's the thing. Most people get wrong. They think the problem is confidence or social anxiety, and yeah, that plays a role. I've definitely felt that too. But the real issue is much simpler. You don't run out of things to say because you're awkward. You run out because you don't know what to do next. No one ever teaches you how to actually have a conversation, so you just improvise, hope for the best, and when it doesn't work, you assume something's wrong with you. That's exactly what I used to think. I thought I was just bad with people, awkward by default, maybe even antisocial. But over time I realised I wasn't broken. I was just untrained. Conversation is a skill, and like any skill, whether it's learning an instrument, writing, or getting better in the gym, you can improve it if you understand how it works. After a lot of trial and error, overthinking and replaying conversations in my head later on, I realised there are really only 3 things you need. First, ask intentional questions. If someone says, "I went golfing over the weekend," most people respond with, "Oh, nice." And that's where it ends. But if you go just one layer deeper, where do you usually play? How did you get into it? Are you actually good or just pretending? Suddenly the conversation has direction. It has somewhere to go. It doesn't even matter if you care about golf, because what you're really doing isn't talking about golf, you're creating momentum. Every conversation is just a chain of questions and answers, and the person asking the questions is usually the one guiding where it leads. Second, listen more than you speak. But actually listen. Not the fake version where you're nodding while mentally preparing your next sentence. Most people aren't really listening. They're just waiting for their turn to talk. And because of that, they miss everything. The small details, the tone, the emotions, the little cues that could have helped them respond better. So they end up saying something random, forced, or completely off topic. But when you genuinely pay attention, you start picking up on things you can build on. And that's what keeps conversations flowing naturally. Not clever lines or trying to impress, just being present enough to respond to what's actually being said. And third, find common ground. This is where conversations stop feeling like effort and start feeling easy, because we naturally connect with people who share something with us. Interests, experiences, opinions, even small things. And sometimes it's obvious, like you both like the same music or sport, but other times you have to dig a little. The key is, if you're asking good questions and actually listening, you will find something. And when you do, stay there. That's where the conversation shifts, where it becomes more relaxed, more natural, and even enjoyable. Now, not every conversation is going to be great. Some will still feel awkward, some will go nowhere, and there will still be moments of silence. That doesn't mean you failed, it just means not every interaction is meant to turn into something meaningful. Silence isn't the enemy, it's just space. And the more comfortable you become with it, the less pressure you'll feel to constantly fill it. At the end of the day, good conversations aren't about being the most confident or the most interesting person in the room. They're about curiosity, patience, and being fully present. And if you focus on those 3 things, asking better questions, listening properly, and finding common ground, you won't run out of things to say, because you'll stop trying to be interesting and start being genuinely interested. And that's what actually makes people want to talk to you.